Wassail, beautiful people. I've been trying to do Neptune Retrograde all morning. Done lots of research, I started doing it, and then the iPad overheated. So I moved everything round to the only remaining bit of shade that I have, and I'll go live until the iPad overheats. So it's really a big energy. Wassail, Anya. Neptune will be retrograding in Pisces, where it is at home. Wassail, eat me. Oh, card sticking to my elbows. So 30th of June to the 6th of December, it's 160 days. It arrived in Pisces in 2011. And it's all about when Neptune goes retrograde. What? Oh no, sorry. I know, I got there in the end. So it's all about fogs being lifted. There is this thing where when you look up, Neptune retrograding online, everyone says it's about clearing delusions. But I get this sense that that's only half true. Look, what is a delusion? It's when you can't materialize dreams. And we are our own power. We see the world as we want it. So if we can't materialize a dream, it's us blocking them. It is that simple, but not that simple to overcome. So there's another energy that's taking place that I want to talk about, and we'll go into these later fully. I'm just covering everything here briefly to start with as you all come in. But there's a really big, because these are all about long-term cycles. So the energy today is not so much seeing the trees, but seeing the wood, looking at the bigger picture, the slower frequencies available to us all to heal things. So we have Neptune sextiling Pluto. And that's an 87-year-long cycle. It runs from 1947 to 2034. And it's usually within a 2-degree orb. So there was a 43-year, 1947 to 1990. Sorry, who just came in, or was it someone already talking? Wassail, Agnes Leclerc. So from 1947 until 1990, this was bringing an energy of spiritual expansion. And then for 32 years, it dropped away. Now that's interesting because if you were born before 1990, you remember this spiritual collective community frequency. If you're under 32, it's likely that you've never experienced that, and that there's some part of your energy that, while appreciating the need for a collective, you just operate on selfish means. You don't really know because you haven't experienced it. Then in 2022, it started again, and it will run until 2034, as I say, and this is the build-up phase. You're 1989. So look, the thing is, there's no exact date for this because things move in cycles in different ways energetically. So it's likely that you understand it, but your drive would come possibly from a more selfish angle, not in a horrible way, but just in an energy of lack. Lack is a really big frequency that I'm picking up today. Lack because the music of the spheres didn't give you enough conscious tuning before it withdrew something. So it becomes like a primal wound. And it's not something that we should blame ourselves for. It's just a cosmic cycle. But it's appreciating things that allows us to transmute them, transform them. So the other thing that we need to look at is this up and coming conjunction between Neptune and Saturn. Now look, they're both in the same house at the moment. They're both retrograding. Saturn it arrived on the 7th of March, and that's about releasing, because Pisces is about releasing things to come closer to the ownership of our personal philosopher's stone. And so Neptune and Saturn moving towards a conjunction. Look, Saturn has been at home for a long time, both in Capricorn and in Aquarius. Now it's in someone else's home and they are at home. The ruler, Neptune, is here. Jupiter's also the ruler, but right now Saturn's in someone else's house, and so Saturn needs to almost make offerings to help feel at home. So that's coming on the 20th, I think. I've written notes and I didn't put any red lines around to point out where I've written things, so give me a moment. Yeah, so this conjunction will be at 0 degrees of Aries on the 19th and 20th of February at an exact conjunction in 2026. So that's a 2-year cycle, well, a year and a half, that's underway. Bigger picture things, not the mundane details. Also, Uranus will be moving into 0 degrees Gemini in 2025, but won't actually arrive fully there forever, because it will drop back out into Taurus and back in until April the 26th, 2026. So again, this 2026 year is becoming really quite an important year for a whole global kind of community of spiritual expansion. That sun's getting nearer to me. I might have to jump this way a bit. So I just wanted to show you a couple of things. Firstly, this beautiful, beautiful object. This is arancino, which is risotto rice, and they stuff it with various different things. This is a spinach one. And then they cover it in breadcrumbs and they deep fry it, and it is so delicious. It's a wonderful Sicilian food. The meat ones are in the normal shape where they have a flat bottom. They're meant to be little versions of Mount Etna. And now I need to wipe my hands because they're a bit greasy. Also, look, I remembered to bring my Ruscellar water. I love my Ruscellar water. I just hate the fact that we have to consume water from plastic bottles. I went in a shop the other day and they had wonderful glass bottled water, and it was a very chic gourmet shop. And while I was standing there picking up a lovely digestive water, the guy came over to me and he said, "You can't buy that, it's in glass." Wassail karma control. And I said to him, "Why'd you sell it then?" And he really didn't want to answer me, so I left the shop without buying anything. So I also today want to just talk briefly about how we shuffle cards and how we have more control over them than we realize. So if you shuffle cards and you have an energy of fear or lack, like I said again, lack is a very big energy. Learning to move past lack is a really important frequency. So I remember doing a reading with a friend who was so scared about something that the cards just produced her fears. So I was doing a little test this morning to just say what beautiful, wonderful, higher purpose frequencies are coming towards me when I arrive in Malta tomorrow. And I got embers, whereas I had been getting some really confused energies, and I was putting them down to Neptune retrograde, and it was this notion that our other selves through the veil, our other energies can inform us. So it was saying that this phoenix energy of spirit, which is self-actualized salvation. It's not spirit, this thing out there, it's spirit, you. You are part of that elven light spirit. You have control. And then it came out with Venus and essence. So the idea of love being the truth behind everything. Now for me, this is particularly relevant because I have Neptune in house 1. Sorry, I'm not paying attention to what you're saying. So then I thought, well, let's test this out with the Liffruma deck. So here, I then, by saying what beautiful energies are coming towards me, I got Was, which is such a wonderful card. It's actually interesting. It's the sea fret, isn't it? No, it's not. It's the one about surprising and almost splitting us in two with joy. So, sap, impassioned, mystical healing is what I can expect that's beautiful coming towards me. And then resetting my personal Yggdrasil tree to be my truth. And it's interesting that both of those two readings ended with the sense of the essence of self. So how you approach reading cards, shuffling them, does depend on your attitude to drive the best and the good and the loving into the energies you want to work with. So I'm going to pull the cards back in the decks. I'm going to check in on you people. I love doing readings at different times in the day because different people are awake and asleep and available to watch. And the rest have to just find their way when it's their time. Wassail, Kelly Rose. So let me just give these a bit of a shuffle. Wassail, Denise. I'm going to have to hide it. I need to hide this arancini. Oh, my eyesight. Or I'm just going to want to stop and eat. It's very, very humid here today. And tomorrow we're off to Malta. I say we because you're all coming with me. Oh, see that your cat said, Kelly, get online. So, I want to just say, you got the power. We've all got the power to heal ourselves. Edging away from the sun. I can't believe I did all the... Oh, you see, Psyche, immediately. Seeking the soul's home. So, part of this Neptune retrograde is to appreciate that you have the power to deify yourself. What does that mean? Well, it means really to connect with your soul, to connect with the energy of you in the elven light, holding frequencies. I know. I absolutely love arancini. Risotto rice, stuffed full of spinach, covered in breadcrumbs, and then deep fried. Who wouldn't love it? It's interesting though, originally they were made from leftover risotto. Who has a leftover risotto? So, two more. Moon in Aquarius, fluid emotional freedom, rebellious, and compose, reprogramming. Reprogramming your soul. So this Neptune retrograde that goes on for most of the rest of this year is giving us the chance to change things. It's giving us the chance. I'm going to change this from travel in the deck. This compose is house 9. And it's really about reprogramming. Now, how do you reprogram? You teach yourself better things. You learn more about yourself, about the experiences that you bring to the world and that you experience within the world. And you make transformations. There is an energy of relocation, but it's relocating the soul here. So we can continue to live with, I wanted to say a dislodged soul or a distorted soul. But it's journeying to higher knowledge. So it's relocating your mind to give yourself... So the fire in your belly is physical fire, like wands frequency. This is about giving us the chance to refill, reignite ourselves with aether as being the fire behind us, a much more spiritual... In the age of Aquarius, emotional energy, fluid freedom. Now that's interesting because it's about a strong ego, and that's usually refers to that kind of stubborn attitude in fixed Aquarian energy. But actually today it's saying about strengthening your emotional ego. Emotional planting new emotions. Interesting. Wassail the Promethean. Oh yeah, they're very Sicilian. They sell them everywhere. I feel like that one's Pallas Athena just sneaking in, because I went yesterday to the Temple of Athena that's now the cathedral in Ortesia, and I sat there and I just got a whole series of very difficult energetic blockages, and also an unwillingness of the church to connect with the pagan while having stolen its frequency to establish itself. It was a really interesting energy, and I wandered around doing things, but it was very difficult. It was too busy with tourist energy there to settle into the frequencies. It's a disturbed place. Anyway, so let's move on with where we are here. Oh, that's interesting. 9-9. That's like 9-9 is almost like the power number of reaching in to the truth behind your psyche, to reaching into the fullness of you as spirit. You see, that's the message that's coming across today. There's spirit that we talk about. Yeah. There's a whole series of them, actually. Look, let's go and have a look at them, because that's the whole thing. We can do whatever we want, but I mustn't let the computer overheat. Here's one. Now there's another one just over here who looks like Athena having painted a moustache on herself. Oh, actually, do you know what? Let me just turn this around. It's easier because I don't know whether I'm got them in view. So these are very Sicilian. It's difficult to get around this roof garden because I've had to move all the furniture. here's another. They sometimes come with black ceramic faces as well. The strangest thing about these ones is that Airbnb guests have been using them as ashtrays, which is very weird. So, yeah, so I've lost track of what I was saying about frequencies, but yes, so the frequencies of spirit. Look, we all do it. I do it. We talk about spirit as being something other than ourselves. But actually our connection to spirit is our spirit. And that's the rest of us that's not embodied in the physical. And we can make more room for that elven light energy that I call it, the Liffruma frequency. We can make room for that. And we can ignite the aether within us rather than the physical so that we're more connected. So when we say spirit is directing me here or spirit has a plan, no, your higher, other, elven frequency is what has the plan. You. And that's how I think it's part of, we need to accept that we create, through our own misunderstandings sometimes, our connection to the greater cosmic divine. I think that the idea of source is too powerful and needs filtering. But also, if I say spirit's blocking me, no, I'm blocking me. I think we need to start to learn to accept that if we want to heal. We need to learn that we make our own world. Look, people say that all the time. How you view the world is how it is created around you. And there's something deeply flippant in that, because it's almost like a copy and paste that comes out the mouth that we all say. But it is us that creates our pathway and our reality. And it's listening to your gut instinct, because it's almost like your higher elven self communicates better with your biome, because that's what's holding you in linear physical time, than our normal ego does. And yet here we're getting this message of transforming our ego. Wassail imanjama. Yeah, where attention goes, energy flows. It's very true. That's what, when I showed that card reading, when you throw cards without fear, then the messages on offer are fearless and full of love. So I've got the Liffruma deck now. Let's see what Liffruma has. I might have to have some more Russellingaround water. There we go, there's one. What beautiful messages do you want to share with us during this Neptune retrograde? What beautiful messages do you want to share with us in this Neptune retrograde? Yeah, we do. That's exactly it. We have the power over our own destinies by accepting love. There's a sense of surrender, which is another word I'm not keen on. Because that's how I give up, I surrender. I don't give up. So look, it begins all the magic. Like being able to recognize, see all the magic. And I want to say emotions, but it's not. It's just all the magic that has love behind it. Everything has love behind it. If you choose to witness the love as the frequency. I've got to shift a bit because that sun's encroaching on me. Let's move this a bit, because I don't want the iPad overheating, as is its wont. Oh, now I can see the arancini again. I have to hide that behind the iPad. Oh, it's a lovely dribble of water running down my inner forearm. So, recognizing all the magical emotions of love, all the possibilities, helps us to self-deify. Helps us to reach our elven light frequency. And then we have Was and Win. Une. Use and une. W's can be said as a W now, but W once upon a time was ooh. A long ooh, very French sound. Oos, une. So, by recognizing the love behind everything, which is the truth of the magic of the elven light, of the Liffruma, and Liffruma means the source of love, you will find bliss, joy, and comfort rising in everything you do. But you can choose to live in fear. There's nothing wrong with that. Let me just look at them all as a whole. So they're saying you make your own bliss, you compose your own bliss, you compose your own comforts. If you deny yourself comforts for whatever reason, you are the one blocking you. Minty Wassail. So weird is love. Endless, seamless, slow-flowing possibilities. Now that slow-flowing is in the Elven Light Liffruma card. It's the slow ground bass rumble of the entire music of the spheres. And interestingly, yesterday or the day before, I lose track of time, scientists, after a 15-year study, have finally identified that there really is a low cosmic rumble that is part of the universal frequency. They don't quite know what it is. It could be something linking black holes. I suspect it is, because for me, that sound is the thread of our consciousness coming through the galactic center, through the black hole, so that the black holes act as a kind of, as the veil. And that veil can extend in its frequency through everything in the physical world, in the physical cosmos, in the multiverse. But it's a veil that stops the entirety of consciousness being present, because that can only be present in another dimensional frequency. Yeah, that cloud of doubt, a drop of doubt wipes it out. Oh, I'm so again sweat in my eyes. I don't care. Yeah, gravitational waves, they're not really sure what they are, and I suspect that that's part of it. Gravitation being the pull of the physical on the consciousness to animate the physical so that we can live and experience linear time. That's the energy that I sense. So let's look at the role of the Saturn retrograde frequency being in Pisces. It's about releasing. So Neptune's asking us to reach forwards through the fog of doubt and fear to see the love and attach ourselves to our own spiritual self, to take control of us being part of spirit. You have to go on your errands. Have fun. Yeah, it is the most fantastic thing. I can't look at it or I'll stop and eat it. So Saturn. Neptune seeking that connection through the fog. Saturn is about releasing restrictions, probably on ourselves, that we've created, that we blame on others. I know I do. It's all your fault. So, Saturn retrograding. Hang on a minute. Saturn retrograde. It arrived on the 7th of March, turned retrograde on the 17th of June, and will be retrograding until the 4th of November. And we have an opening. Comfort seeking. It's comfort eating. Well, it's more than just that. Let's just get some more on it. It's a minor third, F sharp and an A. So it's connecting into that love frequency. The intuition of love, but I think it's about seeking restrictive solutions, not allowing yourself to prioritize truths. Saturn is in distortion with this energy of Moon in Taurus. Saturn is about absorbing pain, whereas Moon in Taurus is about seeking to consume things, not just foods, but to consume ideas, to consume theories, spiritual practices that actually mask the truth of the pains. So then we got Moon in Leo. So Saturn's very emotional. I feel like Saturn's having a little weep. So now we're getting the energy, we're building a realm around A, F sharp and E. So that's got this frequency of a perfect fifth, but it's being distorted by a suspended second. I know I'm talking all musical jingo here, but this deck is going to be very much about the music of the spheres. Wassail, Doma, Goldrick. So there's something here within Saturn that's withholding, restricting creative inspiration through masking the truth of pains that we experience, emotional pains, because we'd rather put a sticky plaster on them. There's an energy of being over dramatic. Is that good tarot? 5 of Cups. Ah! Yeah, it's not. There's a suspension waiting for a solution, a resolution. Ah, now we're adding an even more dissonant. We're adding an A sharp, B flat to that A. So Saturn's really it's creating this really dense sound. Actually, I'm going to try and play you it, but it's a bit difficult on this tiny phone, the piano, because... So, here's the perfect fifth. Oh, look, I don't need an advert. Go away, advert. Skip video of girl pretending to play piano. Here's the E and the A. Perfect fourth. That way around. I think it's A and E. That's better. That lovely open sound with no distortion between it. But we're adding actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a suspended 6. Oops. And then suddenly we're going to add this minor second. So Saturn's got this real crunch going on that it's needing to let go of. Was that helpful or just a mess? Wassail, la 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 Caton. Yeah, it does sound very weird. You can turn it into a perfect fourth, but I feel Moon in Leo is more of a fifth. It's the sun and the moon. That's the energy here. Sun and the moon. And then in between that, we're adding Venus, F sharp, and then we're adding the nervous system. So it's like having a nervous heart taking place. So you need to practice a belief in the notion that we all have psychic sophistication. You have to start believing in things. Oh, but there's also, this is what's so fascinating. There's an energy of unreturned kindness. Why are you being kind? Is it because you seek reward for your kindness? Or are you being kind because kindness is just good? Feels nice. So that's an interesting energy. Also 2 endings. That's the really important part about Phallus. There's 2 endings. There's an ending where you fall into fear or doubt. That's one ending. Or there's the energy where you stick with the frequency of love, and that's the other ending. It's just 2 very simple options for which one you wish to have materialize around you. So Saturn retrograding, what else do you want to say? It wants to say that I've got more salty sweat in my eyes. Oh, look. It's about release. Release the distortion of the cord of you. So this is the cosmic conjurer house. This is the projection. This is to alchemize. This is the space in which we make our personal philosopher's stone. At the moment, that stone feels, with Saturn in retrograde, a little bit crunchy, but it's offering us the chance to unbind that frequency. Stop masking pain with comforts. Just look at the pain and go, all right, so you're my pain, gonna change you, gonna transform you. That is a beautiful rune to come in this energy. Earth Masion, Earth Masion. Earth, that's a TH, but it's a voice TH. Earth, Earth. And then Magian is Magus, magician. So thy power, it's your power. It doesn't belong to anyone else. It belongs to you. And if your power is not bringing you the frequencies you want, if you live in lack, if you shun abundance, if you withdraw from joy, it's you that did it. It's not spirit. Spirit didn't punish you. You chose to live in lack. Esoteric secrets of the full moon. It's full moon in Capricorn in a couple of days. 3. This is the oldest sacral cycle. The oldest sacral cycle is taking the old physical fire and replacing it with spiritual aether fire, having a deeper connection with yourself as a spirit being. And I would say that this energy where I talked about this sextile, Neptune sextile Pluto for 87 years being long, between the years of 1990 and 2022, It's gone. So there is a sense of lack that has been existing in terms of spiritual growth. And so there was, I always feel that this was an energy to do with the dying of Earth epoch for the last 200 years, where the Saturn and Jupiter conjunctions had all been in an Earth sign. We moved in 2020 into air, and there's something about that reigniting spiritual growth. And so from 2022 to 2034, we've got that energy coming up. So Wakend is the watcher, the animal totem. There's something about never had this energy before on this card, but the card talks about creatures all around you watching you and waiting for you to notice. And it's coming over today, spirit familiar, all these eyes that are on you that, you know, you might call your mum, your dad, some other grandma, spirit itself. They're all your elven light watching you. It's all about you. And we have to show respect for the fact that we all exist and we're all part of that elven light, but we have to give everyone else the space to be their own elven light journey. So no judgments. And that's almost what our higher self is watching in us, is when we make judgments on other people, when we create criticisms, when we create frustrations. And each time we lessen that energy, each time we stop seeing how the other behaves, because when we notice something in another, it's a projection of something we refuse to see in ourselves. And so each time we start to correct those frequencies, a little bit more of your elven light filters in, a little closer to your elven... I don't like this word higher self, other self, fuller self, truer self. Any of those will do. But your spiritual self, your consciousness, your full consciousness. So what else? I think what else is just more and more sweat. Oh, that was a big flop of cards. So, they landed with these two first. Oh, Gotten. So Gotten, the important part of Gotten is it's about removing doubt. It's about removing the things that hurt you. But it's out of time. The elves shine down a divine opportunity to clear a mountainous blockage before you. You are the elves. We are all the elves. Wassail, we are the elves, all of us. So maybe some of these eyes watching you are other elves, watching how you react to their presence. Oh, that's interesting. So, you're out one day and you look at someone and you make some kind of mental criticism in your head. Do you forgive them for that? Or do you notice that it's an aspect in yourself that you fear? And when you correct that, when you come in and stop making the judgments on somebody, both their elven light and your elven light can rejoin together. It's like in the physical, we're all separate. And by observing something in another and being discourteous, you're stopping that elven-like connection from being stronger. That floating head in the blue, she's not in it anymore. I don't know. There was a statue that I showed earlier. I showed 4 of them. They're stuck on the balcony. But if it's too bright here for me to see the screen properly. So you're gutting to get closer to your elven light. So each interaction with anybody is an unhatched cosmic egg of unmatched mystical potential. How you approach the eggs of others is how much more of your own divine elven light comes through. There's actually lots of houses behind and down that way and all around. There's one of the heads. Maybe it's Athena again. And then the next 2, this is to be re-blueprinted, to unfold onto a new journey in life by recognizing the elven opportunities in all of our experiences that we make with all people. So it's saying that as we journey through life, we need to understand that every soul is a tender green leaf. And how we react to others impacts on how we are really treating ourselves. If we're making judgments on others, then we're being unfair on ourselves. We're not allowing ourselves to walk in our truth. So that's what Saturn's asking us to release. Judgment on others, because it's ultimately a judgment on ourselves. So let's move on. I want to have a little look at this energy of the conjunction. No, let's do the sextile with Pluto first. Let's go to that energy that divides us as a community into those born before and after 1990. So why are we talking 1990? Well, the sextile between Pluto and Jupiter is an 87-year cycle currently. And when it's within 2-degree orb of each other, this sextile, it becomes more powerful. And so from 1947 until 1990, it was in a 2-degree orb. Moments when it's exact and moments when it drifts in and out. But then it switched off. In 1990, it stopped. It separated. And so there was a sense of a loss of spiritual expansion from the 1990s up until 2022, which was kind of like the transformation, the baton race of handing over earth baton to air baton, which is a much more spiritually expansive time. So people who are 32 kind of years old and younger have never experienced the collective bonding of a spiritual collectiveness. And so while they can be out there, experience a spiritual journey, it's from a very selfish aspect, and that's not their fault, as I said earlier. It's just that there was an absence of that frequency within the music of the spheres for that period. And so this is a build-up that's now going on until 2034. So there's a shared sense of community growing. There's a sense that spirit will return, but it isn't spirit, it's you. You feeding more of you into you, your elven light, filling you with more love, with less judgment. So let's give that a shuffle. I have to shift across because the sun's coming at me again. So, Neptune sextile Pluto. Right, so this has got, its Mercury has come out, which is to be, it's to open a sense of space for change, but it's got some kind of link to, Neptune is hovering around the fixed star in Pegasus, the Alpha Pegasi, which is macabre. I'm sure I wrote something about macabre. Yeah, it's the saddle of the horse. Get off the saddle, walk yourself there. There's no free ride as such. But it's also, let me just go back a page. There's a connection here to Cygnus as well, which is above Pisces. So Mercury is playing a really big role in bringing in the new energies. So there's the lucky star of the rain, which is Al-Sahad Matar. And then there's Mu Pegasi, Sa'ad al-Bahri, which is the auspicious star of the splendid one. So this conjunction feels as though it's offering something rather wondrous. But it's Neptune as the fulcrum, not Pluto. But look, Pluto will gain in dominance when it shifts fully into Aquarius on the 22nd of January. No, it's not fully then. It drifts in and drifts back out again. 20th of November 2024, next year, it will be fully in Aquarius. And that's when there will be a big collective change. But so the space is being opened by this sextile. So we have Moon in Libra. Moon in Libra is a major sixth, A and F sharp. Mercury is a G sharp. Let's go back and let's show you these. Oh, such dribbly sweat in my eyes today. There's swifts. They've been rather absent today. But I did see a flock of flamingos fly over me. And that's very rare here because they just live somewhere near here. Just outside Syracuse. So we're looking at G sharp. Then with the moon. A and G sharp. So there's something that's being used as a, so this sextile is moving in to drive pitch through to open something, and it's Mercury that is the tool to express the emotions that are uneasy. Will help you to move through this. And then we have the F sharp. So it's a real cluster. I don't know if it'll let me play these. No. It's a really tight energy that Mercury is coming into to stretch open. We have the energy of conjunction as well. Moving towards a conjunction. I have no idea. It's like so far away. So it can't be to do with a conjunction between Neptune and Pluto, because that ain't happening for a few hundred years. Because they're both slow. I think it's pointing out this Saturn conjunction. Merging focused intention, so transforming your makeup, amplifying, coming together. It's like a conjunction of humanity. That's what it's coming across as. So the moon in Libra, the emotion, recognize the emotions that bear the fruits of love. There's so much at the moment which is about transforming how we understand and how we love. It is like a new language that's coming in, a new way to express things. What's going on? Wassail Healing Ground Collective. Sorry, I've not been paying attention. I'm so bad. No, it's not 22 years since 1990, it's 32. Because you've got 1990 plus 10 makes 2000, and then 22 makes 32. Wassail Tracy J. Yeah, but do you not see, Avalon, that was the culmination of that period from 1947 until 1990, and since then, it's fallen away. It will return, it's returning now, but it's just about different cycles of aspects, and anyone can tune in to those frequencies, because when frequencies begin, they stay somehow for a long time. Like the stellium in Aquarius is a tear that's a vibrational frequency that's just there, and as everything moves through Aquarius, it's all being reprogrammed by that stellium. So, sorry, I was looking because Healing Ground Collective, your friend loved her cards. Oh, I'm so glad. Is that the Liffruma deck that she's purchased? The Liffruma deck with the pink alien from the Great Attractor. Oh, you'll be 33. Yeah, you will be. Which is a number of being very present in the world for me, the power number 33. It's about being very physically aware. Right, so we have here, they're just showing me a Tesla code. So it's by speaking your emotions that you release them, that you move on from them. What do we have here then? 34, 49. So we've got a 13, 7, 13. Being on a spiritual path to bear fruits of creativity. And then 65, 11 and 13. So we've got two 13s here. Huge creativity is coming in with this sextile. But the sextile is merely the kind of spiritual expansion that's enabling a huge community conjunction with the Saturn and Neptune conjunction on the 26th of February 2026 at 0 degrees of Aries. It's like a new beginning. So, you know, the Pisces energy is the Philosopher's Stone. Aries is flaming action. It's to begin again. So let me have some more cards. And then I'll just try and sneak in the other one if I've got time, but I really think this sun's trying to get me. I know there's an arancini still behind my iPad. I want that arancini. So come on. Little sextile, Pluto and Neptune. Pluto and Neptune sextiling in a tree Sextile. I wonder what that one was. It had a flash of Sappho somehow. So look, trining with destiny. No, that's so weird. That looked so pink when it turned. So, harmonious comfort is the destiny that's on this pathway until 2034. And it's leading to this energy of Moon in Virgo, which is empathic luminosity. So, there's some kind of chance at the moment to seek some kind of future connection with when the nodes shift in July and they move, north node becomes Aries, south node becomes Libra, to begin to find a harmonious comfort that you can work with, that you can understand and you can place into your bigger picture, so that by the time we've moved through to 2034, there is just this sense of having pursued a pathway to perfection, redefining circumstances. Again, voicing changes seems a very important energy. And that's your 33. So we got 6, 3, 9, 3, 3 in this frequency here. Yeah, it moves in on the 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th. Keeps changing every time I look, of July. It's like saying to digest this comfort, this loving, fruit-laden future, you have to prepare, you have to digest it in the 18 months or so, because it's really interesting. Although the nodes tell us where eclipses will be, when the eclipses move, they're not quite in tune. So the first eclipse coming up with the new nodes, it's a solar eclipse in Libra, but instead of it being a lunar eclipse 2 weeks later in Aries, it's in Taurus. And then I think the one the following year, I have a feeling that the solar eclipse is in Pisces and not Aries, but the lunar eclipse is in Libra. So there is something where the node's in Aries, but the truth is still not quite formed in Aries. I sense that that's to do with the Arian frequency really kicks off, because the energy of Aries in the signature of the years grows now. It keeps becoming ever stronger, and it's an interesting energy because it's in opposition somehow to the age of Aquarius. The age of Aquarius kind of reckons with this notion of Liffruma, elven light. There is one solution that the whole world needs to understand. The energy of Aries is actually about letting everybody have their own personal truths. And that's going to grow and grow and grow. There will be more and more planets and time spent by the planets and the asteroids in Aries. It becomes the most powerful. And I think by 2026 is huge. It dominates the whole signature of the year. So there's something about, we can't quite find that Aries nudge until this conjunction of Neptune and Saturn on 0 degrees of Aries. As I say, on the 20th of the 2nd, 2026, 19th, 20th. So Neptune will hit Aries 0 degrees on the 27th of January 2026, Saturn will hit it on the 15th of February 2026, and just 4 days later, bam! In a perfect conjunction on the 0, I think it's 0 degrees 40 minutes, or 4 minutes and 0 seconds. So yeah, that's what's coming there. Now, much as I would like to keep shuffling, I can't, because the sun is making me climb inside the wall. So I'd like to thank everybody who came here today. And I'd like to make a suggestion that if you want to move into an energy of self-reflective abundance by sending me a donation, you are activating the cosmic mirror of self-reflecting abundance. So press like, I never say that, so that the algorithm pushes me a bit higher. Oh my God, my iPad's in the sun. It's going to overheat again. Wassail nourish. I'm afraid I'm off because the sun's going to burn my iPad out and me. So Wassail, beautiful people.